Hi guys, I am super excited to talk to you today. Today's video is all going to be about branding your YouTube channel and creating a brand for yourself across platforms. And this is something I have been putting a ton of energy into. I have been learning as much as I could about it, and I am super excited to now be able to pass on everything I've learned through this process to you. So at some point in the middle of quarantine, I did an online workshop which was all about establishing yourself as a brand and the importance behind it. Because I think before this, I didn't really see why it was important to have branding that was my own. Before that, I had made little graphics to be my header on YouTube and my title page. Branding is so much more than that and can take you so much farther than that. I've really learned how important it is to establish yourself and have branding that is something that truly speaks to you and your core values and what is the content that you're creating. Even beyond that branding, people will be out and about and they'll see things and that will trigger memories that make them think of you, because your branding will be so strong that it will make people continue coming back to you. I feel like I've done every sort of thing under the sun when it comes to my channel. I've used freelance artists on platforms. I have created a ton of stuff on my own, and I finally this time worked with a graphic designer and did like a full brand package, and that's really what I want to talk to you about today. So if you are just starting off and you're not super confident about where your channel's going or your content's going, whether you are on YouTube or you're an Instagrammer or you're a blogger, if you're getting your feet wet but you aren't concrete in what you're doing yet, number one, you're gonna have to figure that out. Everybody needs a niche. When I talk to people who want to be content creators, I cannot stress that enough. You need to have a niche. So whether that niche is Trader Joe's vegan recipes, dog harness reviews, thrifted petite fashion, I don't know, I just picked the three of those off the top of my head. But whatever you want your niche to be, you have to figure that out. And secondly, if you're starting off, the hardest part you gotta do is start. And you're not gonna be able to really nail down what your niche is until you really start and get going. Once you're going and you're kind of figuring out what you wanna do and whatnot, you are gonna start to need some graphics. Even just when you're starting your YouTube channel, there's gonna be that banner at the top, and then most often people have an end screen. You don't need to have an end screen for your first video. It's not gonna make or break your channel when you're first getting started, but it's something you're gonna wanna do at some point. Now these are things, if you're getting started, you don't really know where you're going yet, these are things you can play with and make yourself. If you just wanna make it your name, if you have a catchy name behind your channel, whatever this is, you can create something. I really recommend either using PicMonkey or Canva. I used PicMonkey for the first 3 years and didn't use anything else. I've only recently transitioned into Canva and I am obsessed with Canva now, but both are really great options. They have all of the YouTube templates on there, so you can just type in YouTube thumbnail, YouTube header, and it will pop up with the exact dimensions, so that way you know exactly what size you need everything to be for you to be able to upload it and it look correct across different formats. Now, if you're someone like me who is not great at graphic design, then you can go onto websites like Fiverr. Fiverr is a really good place if you're still getting started, you don't want to invest a ton of money into it yet, but you need something quick and easy. For example, both of my icons of my face have been from Fiverr. On Fiverr, you can get a ton of freelance art. You can scroll through tons and tons of different artists and graphic designers and see somebody who really fits your style. The prices are really reasonable. They range from like $5 to $25 depending on what you're getting. There's gonna be somebody for anybody's type of budget on there who's gonna do what you want. If you're looking for something that's just like a one-off, you just need something really quick and you don't want like a full brand package yet, Fiverr's a really great and easy place to go. Now moving forward, I finally decided to work with a graphic designer to create the branding of my YouTube channel, and I am so excited about it. So I worked with Kelsey, her handle is Willoughby Designs, and she really walked me through this whole process and told me exactly what she needed from me and gave me lots of different options to help me figure out the branding that fit perfectly with me. I could not be more thankful. If you ever need anything graphic design, I highly recommend reaching out to Kelsey. She was amazing to work with, but I don't even need to say that. Her work is gonna speak for itself. The first thing Kelsey had me do was create a mood board. So this mood board needed to include things like different colors, textures, inspiration, fonts, graphics I enjoy, different things like that. And this was crucial for me because before creating a mood board, I could look at a million different options and I'm looking at them and I'm like, I love all of these. I don't know which one fits me. That's what I really struggled with. I'd go to Pinterest and I'd see like so many different things and I'm like, these are all super cool. I don't know which one makes the most sense for me. I don't know which ones go together. I just know I like them all. So doing a mood board, I kind of was able to brain dump all of that on there and be able to pick from there. So on this first page, you can see over here on the left, I have like different fonts that I really liked. These were different color palettes I liked, and you can see like they're similar, but they're still pretty different. And I couldn't really nail down exactly what I wanted. On the next page, this goes into logos. I was really feeling all of these different logos. I loved how natural and stuff they looked. Textures, I love plants. I love like the rusticness of the rope and all of these like very neutral colors. And then the last page was all inspo, like things that I want my content to look like. So these are photos from different influencers I really love. This is kind of what I want my content to start looking like in the future. I think this really helped me visualize where I see myself going. I then sent this over to Kelsey. She took a look at it and she sent me back her version of the mood board. And so she actually broke everything that I gave her into 3 different categories for me to pick from, so that we were really able to nail down exactly what I wanted. So this was option 1, and she does description words for all of the different moods, which I thought was really helpful because that really makes me mentally be able to understand like what these visuals mean. So on option 1, it was breezy, vibrant, playful, and confident. I do like all of these words. I do like these pictures. This is a really fun mood board, but I wasn't sure that this one was the right fit for me. My gripe with this was it was a little bit too summery, a little bit too bright, and I kind of wanted something that could kind of carry me through all seasons. The next one was option 2. The words for this were warmth, inviting, organic, and calm. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I picked option 2. I absolutely love everything on this mood board. This is exactly what I'm going for. I love the natural colors and they're warm. It still feels kind of neutral and natural. I love this one. The description words I feel like are exactly what I'm going for. That's exactly how I wanna come off on my channel. This just fit me even more perfectly than I thought it could. Then this was option 3. And option 3, the describing words were dreamy, cool, relaxed, and trusted. This was a really cool one, and I do like this a lot, but it just didn't fit me. I think this would be such cool branding for somebody, but this to me just felt a little bit too cold. I want my branding to be a lot warmer and friendlier than this. Very cool vibe, but it wasn't what I was looking for. Once I went back to her and I told her that I was really going for option 2, how much I love option 2, and I think it really fits me perfectly, then we were able to move on into creating actual branding elements. So when it comes to the branding elements, this is really going to be like your logo, your watermark, anything that you can see putting on, something that is going to have your name or your company's name on it. This was where I really needed Kelsey's help. Like, I can create mood boards. I can't even begin to fathom what I would want a logo to look like. I am not a graphic designer. I did not go to school for art. I was super thankful that I was working with a graphic designer who's taking me through all of these elements, because this is something I wouldn't want to go to Fiverr for, just because I feel like it's really important to actually work with someone who gets to know you versus going to Fiverr where someone is just gonna kind of make things up without really understanding you and understanding your content. This was option 1 that she came up with. We decided on doing the slogan to go with it, live more with less, which I really like because I think the overall premise of my channel is like living your best life, but that doesn't mean it has to cost you $1 million. It's like living in a studio apartment, but making it like beautiful and exactly what you want. We came up with that slogan and then picked these different logos to go with it. So the logos are all similar in that they all have the same slogan. They all have my name. The watermark ones are all my initials. So this one you can see like the font was really minimalistic. They were all very clean lines. She created like this little graphic to go with it. Some of them have the little plant leaves, but very like natural and minimal. Option 2 is a little bit more of this like fun font. It's like cursive-y, but not like beautiful girly handwriting cursive-y, with the secondary font being a little bit more static and bold, all in caps. Also has this little graphic she came up with of the little plant, which I think is super cute. And then these 3 at the bottom as the watermarks. Option number 3 I feel like is like an in-between of 1 and 2 because it has like that static font, all bold and all caps, but then she created like this circle that's like an imperfect circle, which I think is really cool. I do love the semicircle writing on it. I think that's really pretty. And then this circle at the bottom too with the plant. So for this one, I ended up going with option 2. I just really fell in love with this like fun cursive-y font. I also love the writing in the secondary font going as like the arches above and below on both of these. She gave all of these to me in black and white, which was really great because from there we were able to explore with color, but it made it so that way I really focused on what I like as the logo itself before liking it because of the color. And then once it came to figuring out with colors, these were the different color options she gave me. So this first one is really like the reds, oranges, light peaches. Second is a little bit more of the mustard and green. And then third was like the blues and gray. And I just love the warmth and the naturalness of that red and orange. Before I did this branding thing, I had no idea what I was looking for, but I felt like that fit me perfectly. I then did later ask her to incorporate a color of green in it too, just to have a 5th element. But these are my primary colors and I really love how they turned out. And then I feel like we got into like the fun stuff. We started then figuring out my YouTube banner, which was something like I made mine on my own off of PicMonkey, and it was something that just like, it wasn't great. So she came up with some that I thought were so cool. This is what I actually ended up with. We switched up some of the wording slightly, but this is really it. And you can see how it is on a full screen in TV, how it looks on a channel page. I was super happy with that. The other options she gave me was this blue one. I think I realized blue is just not really my color and what I was going for. I like it as a secondary, not that as my primary. But this one I fell in love with because it has this super cute little Trader Joe's bag that she drew up. And so I definitely am going to be using that Trader Joe's icon on a lot of things as well. And then this last one, I was torn with this one because I do really love it. I love she created these squiggly lines on the edges that I think are super cute, and the plants around it. That was just another really great option, but I ended up going with this one. I love that it's a little bit more colorful. I love that my icon's able to be on it, and I just thought that that was a little bit more fun and fitting. The next thing she helped me out with was figuring out what elements I want to be able to incorporate on thumbnails. These are like different examples of what thumbnails could be. I ended up telling her I like all of them, and because I like mixing my thumbnails up, these are great because they all have like the same elements, but I'm able to mix them up and do different things all the time. You can see how they play off of each other and are different even though they're all similar. And so I can really like mix and match the different elements to make it what I want, but I think they look so good. And then the last thing for me to show you that we worked on together was figuring out my end screen. And this was one that I was honestly probably most excited about just because I'd always made them myself, and I feel like I finally got to have something that I was really excited about and really loved and fit me perfectly. So this was the first option she gave me, and for my channel I need to be able to have the subscribe button and the watch more box open so that way I can incorporate those two elements on my end screen. We left both of those there, have my logo up. It's got the colored blobs. I really liked this one. I thought it was really cute. Option 2, this one felt a little bit light for me, but it was still a really great option. Option 3, I loved this one. I liked that all of the elements that I wanted to be there were a little bit more bold than that first one, but still super cute, still colorful and playful, but warm and inviting. And then the last one, this one's really great too. I love the Trader Joe's bag. I love the plants. Now that I've gone through this whole process with Kelsey, I have a full brand guide, and it makes it so that way I have everything I need, so that way moving forward when I create assets on my own, I know exactly what my branding is. I cannot stress how amazing and important this has been because it makes it so that way I can do things moving forward that will stick perfectly to my branding, and I don't have to keep going back to her to ask her to make more assets. Such as all of my Instagram highlights, I was able to use what she gave me and make those myself because I now know exactly what colors I have, what font I have, and whatnot. I'm in the process of creating a blog. If anybody listened, that's the first time I've ever said that out loud. When I have that website go live, I know what colors I want, I know what fonts I want, I know what imagery is supposed to be in there, I know what my logo is to go in there. Like, I know how to make it all look really cohesive because I have this brand guide. She recreated the mood board to be this like beautiful picture, which shows like the 9 images that she really went with. For the brand direction, she shows like those 3 colors that I really decided to stick to, and then the fonts that we chose, and then colors and type. This is what's really been super crucial to me. All of these colors are now my brand colors. These are what I'm sticking with. I probably will never use colors outside of this because this is my branding. This is what I want people to look at and really associate with me. And so she gave me all of the SKU codes so that way I know exactly what colors these are. So whether I'm using Canva or PicMonkey or whatever, I can plug in that little number code and it will pop up with the exact same colors. Also, she has my 2 fonts. The 2 of them together just look so good. And I love that now I know if I'm doing anything, it needs to be in these 2 fonts because that is my branding. She mocked up like what my logos and stuff look like with all of the different colors, so I know exactly what the color combos should be, how they look, what are the different ways that I'm able to incorporate those. Next is the logo usage. So this is my primary logo, just being my name with that like really pretty B. And then the secondary logo is the initials, and the icon logo is that little plant icon. But I love the way that you can incorporate all of those in different ways. I can do so much with it, but it all stays really cohesive. Patterns and illustrations. So she came up with the pattern of like the different colored blobs that I'll be able to do across my thumbnails, and they're incorporated into like every type of graphic across all of my content. And then the illustrations, like she literally drew them, which is amazing. She drew these little plants and the tiny Trader Joe's bag. I love that tiny Trader Joe's bag so much. It's just so cute. She put my YouTube banner in here, so I have that saved somewhere as well, and that is currently up on my channel, and I love how it looks. She has my end screen, and this is the end screen I ended up going with. Just I love the simplicity of it, and I love the plants, and I just think it's a really cute way to wrap it up. And then she has the thumbnails, and she put in the examples of the thumbnails so I can always go back and reference those and make sure that I'm sticking to what fits my branding. And then lastly, just like an ending page of Created in 2020 for Caira Button by Willow B Designs, who is amazing. I am super excited to be rolling out this new branding, but I also thought it was like super important, something that I didn't know anything about, and so I wanted to take the time and film this video and really explain to you why branding is so important as well, and why you should put such a heavy focus into it. I also feel like as a YouTuber and a small YouTuber, I thought that working with a graphic designer on my branding was way out of my ballpark. I literally thought it was like thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'm sure there are graphic designers that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. But if you need just like a simple little asset, set, Kelsey can do them starting from $20. Her pricing changes depending on what your project is. You can message her anytime and she'll send you a quote like without any obligations whatsoever. It doesn't need to be this like crazy break your bank situation. Like you can have a graphic designer help you even if you just want a couple little things or even just a direction to go in. This is something that they can help you with, but they are like trained professionals who do such a better job at it than I do. Like I cannot believe that I stuck with my pink brush strokes for so many years, and I feel like I finally have something that I'm really proud of, is really cohesive and goes perfectly with me. So again, last shout out, but I worked with Kelsey from Willoughby Designs and she was amazing from beginning to end, and I highly recommend if you are a YouTuber and you're trying to start out and figure out exactly what direction you want to go in. She helped me so much. I could not have done this without her. So definitely check her out. I hope you learned something from this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, definitely hit that big red subscribe button. Also, go over to my Instagram. All of my assets are beautifully branded on my Instagram now as well. It all goes together. So follow me over there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.